What's going on, Doozers, and welcome to episode 8 on the Shadowtopia SMP. I'm DiamondDoozer, and you may notice that I'm not wearing any armor. Yeah, like, at all. So, last episode, we worked on the World Eater, and you know what it ate? It ate me. Just at the tail end of episode 7, I stopped recording, and the World Eater came through. It missed its mark because I ran it without the sweepers, forgetting that the return section wouldn't return it then. So, you know, off they went. Off I went. And then the TNT hit. Yeah. TNT number 1 blew me up. TNT number 2 blew up my gear. TNT number 3 was just the salt in the wound. So, we're going to get over to the end quick. We're going to get to the Ender, and I've compiled a couple of boxes with some new gear that I have to get enchanted, so we're going to take care of that. And also, we built a thing, and we're going to get over to that. So, while I'm fixing all my gear, enjoy me building that. All right, and we are back on the actual server. Hey, Puggy! So now we have the basic design done out for these doors. Now we actually have to build them here on the server. So I'm in my Lightmatica account, and the first thing I need to do is I need to acquire a stick. And the reason I need a stick is because that's what Lightmatica uses to figure out where things go and everything else. So, go grab a stick out of the drawer. I got more sticks. All right, so now we need to make sure we don't have any loaded schematics. We don't. We come down here and we find the Doors of Durin, and we load the schematic. And now we just have to place it where we want it. Just like that. And what I'm doing is I actually made sure to grab a little bit of this as a placeholder so that this is in the exact spot that I want it in. So now what we can do is we can actually come through and we can start tearing things out and figuring out where we have to put different pieces to make this look the way we want it to. So the next thing I need to do is I'm going to hit M. I'm going to go to schematic placements. And I need to, let's see, load schematics, Doors of Durin, and I'm going to do a material list. And this is what I need in order to actually make this build. So we're going to have to get some items quick, and we're going to have to start working on it. So we'll be back after we have a whole bunch of materials. And there we go. The door is done. So, like I said, this is inspired from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Doors of Durin from the Mines of Moria. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how long it takes for somebody to realize what this is. And, you know, a couple people don't count because they just heard me say it. But this is done. Now, the one I figure is going to catch on to it first is going to be JT Minko. Again, just his whole storyline about being a wizard, that, and he does some Lord of the Rings cosplay. So, hopefully, everybody likes it. Now, I did think about doing some redstone doors in the side, but after thinking about it a little bit better, I decided it would be a bad idea. So, we're going to leave it this way. Now, we may, in the future, kind of terraform more of this mountain over and just bring it more rounded in, but at the moment I think this is exactly what we needed. So let's go ahead and remove this schematic quick. And there we go. We are good to go. It's ready to rock and roll. So now that this is done, we can start working on our next project. And seeing as how hard of a time, luckily, Yokai came through with the crying obsidian. But seeing as how there's not a lot on the server, I think it may be about time to do a server size piglin trading farm. So that's going to mean I'm going to have to go into the nether. So hang tight. We're going to start working on some designs and we'll be back. All right, so we just got done with our live stream, and if you were watching it, you just heard me say I'm out. But we are over at the Big Dig, and as you can see, we got a lot of people over here. And right now, you know, we ended up having to make this smaller because it broke. Yeah. So we've rebuilt it again, smaller, and right now we're building the trench for it. Speaking of which, pilot to ground controller, we good to release?
10-4, good buddy.
Yep.
Let her rip.
Here comes Betsy. So this is what we're doing.
There, you better get out of there.
We are once again dropping bombs left and right here. And we're making another trench. That way the World Eater can do its job and go through and actually eat up all this world. So what I'm going to do is we're going to finish this trench up, and then we're going to kick the World Eater back into gear, and when we do, we're going to bring you back in on a replay. So hang tight, relax, and we're going to get Declan in with his music blue, and enjoy the time lapse. Well, we've done it. We have finally finished. And look at this hole. Look at the size of this beautiful, beautiful. It doesn't even render all the way in. Look at this. Look at this. So hopefully you enjoyed that massive monster time lapse we did, nailing out this the last little section here. But we are done. 4.5 million blocks gone, just like that, all gone. And now we can. Oh, I got a dog. And now we can finally start working. On figuring out exactly what we're going to do with this. As you can see, a couple people have already come through. We started glassing this over. I did the math on it, and we are going to need 39 shulker boxes worth of white stained glass in order to cover the entire floor of this. So we need a lot of glass. We've also been saving up our diamonds as we've been going, just to get an idea of, you know, how many diamonds we get from this, whether it's a worthwhile way to mine for diamonds. And I can already tell you it's not. It's not. We blew up so many diamonds. These are the survivors. So let's grab these quick. There we go. And this. I'll mine these quick, because I forgot I had them.
Oh, I has more too.
Oh. I'm each up topside. Now, we did put in a water elevator over here. Unfortunately, the vines are kind of getting in the way of it. There you go. So we'll grab these. Let's craft these into blocks. And here comes white top. Breaky, 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 breaky. Break, 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 break. Alright, let's see. We are now up to 55 blocks of diamonds plus 4. And that's not including the diamonds that we already got from this adventure. So, is it a worthwhile way to mine? No, not in the least. Is it a fun way to mine? Oh, absolutely. So, we're going to go ahead and figure out what exactly we're doing with these diamonds. Also, Doodle started doing some graffiti on our wall, so we have this snail. It says derp on it. Unfortunately, again, the vines are just covering the whole thing, which doesn't make it really easy to get up to the top, but it also kind of distracts from what's going on. But that being said, we are now ready to start working on our slime farm. Or not our slime. Wow. I'm stuck on slimes because there's just slime chunks everywhere here. And I've used a lot of slime blocks. But we are now ready to start working on our witch hut. So we can start building it out. We're going to figure out exactly how we're going to build it first before we start putting any blocks down. And then we've also kind of decided that we're going to try to make it look a little bit decent too. But again, to make sure that it's at its most efficient, it also has to be spawn proof. So whatever design we go with has to be spawn proof on top of functional and, you know, looking good. So let me get to work on doing some of that stuff. Hopefully I can get IM1 so that he and I can work on some ideas together. And then we'll go from there. Hey, Robro, look over here. Look at the diamonds. Whoa. Oh, yeah, I'm out of rockets. All right, so we'll be right back, guys.
Oh, you thorns.
3, 2. All right, so now that the hole has exploded, now it's time to start working on this witch farm. Now, as you can see over here, we do have a bounding box done. And this shows me exactly where this witch farm area is, where these witches will be able to spawn. So now what we have to do, and this farm is based off of one by Logical Geek Boy. So we have our first layer, it's a 9x7, and then we're going to come up 2, and this is where our next layer is going to go, and then up 2, and this is our final spawnable layer. So this is what our farm is going to look like. Now, let's get it built. All right, so it is done, and as you can see, we've already got our first witch spawning. Now, the rates on this farm aren't going to be fantastic to start, especially if somebody else is on, and White Top is on right now. But we have this all set up. Now, as you saw, when this one fell down, it died right away, and that's something that we're going to work on. We're going to work on a way to make it so that you can also use a looting sword. And that'll probably just be a dispenser of water somewhere in this area that's going to allow us to slow their descent. But there we go. We have the roof on. Everything is spawn-proofed. Everything's covered up. So now all that's really left is to let it do its job. And then we're also going to start getting back to work on putting glass all over the floor here. And then we also need to add some lights. So that's something we're going to do. Then we'll start working on flattening up these walls, kind of like this one is. And then we can start adding graffiti to it. So let me get into it. We're gonna try to get this done as quickly as possible. I highly doubt we're going to get all the glass done this episode. That's probably going to take a couple of weeks. So here we go. All right, so I am one sat down and he AFK'd this overnight, which is something I couldn't do. And I gotta tell you, man, this farm works great. Now, this is done without looting. And then he also did a little bit with using the looting sword because, again, we have this set up so that we can do the an optional, whether it's going to be a looting or an AFK farm. Now, there is a way that we can change what potions they will drop based on what type of damage they've taken. So what we could do is, like, we could put like a little bit of lava here, and they would do a potion of fire protection. So there's a way to use this to actually get potions, and that's going to be something that we're going to look into. But in the meantime, look at this. We got about 30%, I'm going to say a little bit over 60% of the glass done. We got about another 30 to 40% left to do. I have taken out the majority of the machines, and we also have some obsidian we have to get rid of. But this is starting to look really, really amazing. And of course, we just keep getting more and more of the graffiti on our walls. We have this one now. Blabs was here. We have a White Top hiding out over here. So it's been an experience. We did start mapping out the area just to get an idea for how much we have left to do. And we're going to go ahead and go up the water elevator here. And the reason is before we even finished all of this, we were still in the process of bombing. Somebody wrote this on some birch, and it's called The Memory of What Could Have Been. So much has been lost here. Think of what could have been. Let's cry for all the castle, houses, and all the quirky things. Yes, even for all the redstone and farms and things that could be found here in the ground in pure material. Let's cry, brothers and sisters, we who call ourselves builders of the shadows, weep for the blocks we lost. And it took me a few days. Not gonna lie, I was really working. Hey, recording. Get out of here. Nobody wants you here. Goodbye. We were recording for a few days. We were doing all kinds of stuff, and we could not figure out for the life of us who wrote this. And finally, we figured it out that it was JT Minco. So this is actually going to stay here. We're going to leave this memorial. We started putting glass around it just to make sure it was safe. And I mean, it's a beautiful little poem. We're really glad to have it here, actually. But this is going to wrap us up for this week. I mean, I hope you enjoyed it. This is a lot of work. A lot of hours went into what we've done so far. Just the glass alone in sheer hours worked. We're talking somewhere in the area of 20 to 30 hours this week between 2 to 3 people. Placing glass, getting glass, turning it into the white stains, decimating a desert, trading with villagers. We've done it all. So my plans for this area are gonna be kind of weird. We're gonna start with the witch farm, which we already have. We're probably going to designate an area of this to put a raid farm, and we might actually do that above the witch farm, because the raid farm has to be spawn proof, and it has to be a certain area away from everything else so that nothing but the pillagers and stuff can spawn, and we have to keep it away from other spawnable blocks as well. So it's very probable that we're going to put a raid farm up there. That way we have a cleared area for it. And I think we're also going to do some of the ugly machines in here. So a TNT powered cobblestone generator, TNT powered basalt generator. We may put in some of the regular farms as well. Stuff like, you know, bamboo or cobble or bamboo, sugarcane, just the big farms that need a place to go. This is probably going to be where we put them. And then we're also going to spawn lock this area. And what I mean by spawn lock is I'm going to set it up so that only people with a key can get into these farms. And the reason we're going to do that is a lot of these farms require people to understand how the mechanics work so that they don't get blown up, dead, or otherwise. And I'm thinking IM1 here is AFK. Yeah, he's AFK. I don't want anybody coming over here and getting killed. I also don't want anybody coming over here and messing up the farms themselves. So by ensuring that only people who have been trained can get to this area, it ensures that nobody can mess it up. So it's kind of protecting them. It's also protecting the farms themselves. But that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, if you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell notification to get updated whenever I put out a new video. I was looking at the analytics and realized that like 97% of you watching aren't subscribed. Like, dude, it's free. Come on. Come on, you can do it. In any case, I will talk to you guys next week. I'm DiamondDoozer, and I'm out.